back here at Diamond 1 at Slow Pitch City with Mark Regan. And Mark, our showcase, the feature game of the evening here. You got the undefeated teams playing against each other. This should be a good one. The Naturals against the Orioles. We've seen each of these teams. The Orioles, we were supposed to see them twice, I guess, at this point, but last night got rained out. So we've seen each of these teams once, and they have played a lot of ball to get to this point right now. But this is the showcase portion, and it's two teams that are really going to have a good run at each other here.
Ramifications of this game are huge. The winner of this game goes directly tomorrow in the final and has to be beaten twice in the double knockout format. Meanwhile, the loser has to win a couple of games to get back to that final and, of course, win both games in the final. It really is, this is the showcase game of the tournament when it comes to the driver's seat.
We'll have 12:30 and 2 o'clock games tomorrow here from Slow Pitch City here on Rogers TV. If you're coming out to check them out live, or you can watch them a little later on in the day on Rogers TV. But first, let's go to the Orioles side. We've seen the ladies' side, we've seen the men's side a couple of times. These guys are as pro as it goes. It seems that if you are up in the upper echelon in slow pitch, you're probably playing for the Orioles, and they've shown why they've had so much success.
Yeah, this is old hat for them. Playing in this game on Saturday night, the Elimination Tournament, it really is it just goes part and parcel with being on the Orioles program. And for the Naturals, they've been here a couple times before. They're a younger group. They have some veteran leadership, but the Orioles certainly have, when it comes to experience, they have the upper hand.
On the Naturals side, I know if you're watching our game, the first game we did yesterday, Dwayne Hamilton, you got to keep an eye for the big man with the big stick, and he can put it out there a long, long way.
Well, when you're as big as he is and you have as much plate coverage as he does with his swing, you can't pitch around him. Unless there's an open base, you might want to walk him, but
give him the free pass.
He's going to make you pay in this park, that's for sure.
As far as the Orioles side, it's one of those spots where it's a really good team when you don't have nothing saying the Naturals have just the one standout player, but the Orioles are top to bottom. It's hard to pick out one particular guy who kind of leads the way for them. It seems like every 2-3 times through the batting order, you're getting to a guy that can easily put that ball out.
Yeah, and all of these guys have played, as I've said, not only in this tournament, but at the Canadian Championship level, and have represented Canada at the world level too. So they're very comfortable in their shoes tonight.
Got a chance to chat with some of the guys on both sides, especially the Naturals. I know they were joking with us that they felt like the big guys in campus. They were making their way after the game last night, and the folks downtown in London said they saw them on TV. So I think they said the chests puffed out a little more after that, but the way they play ball, they should have that confidence going already.
Well, definitely, and being the local guys, as the team is based out of London versus the Toronto Orioles, they should be walking around with some pride for sure.
So we're just a few minutes away from getting things going here, and we'll see what we get out of our first meeting of these two teams here on Rogers TV. Had a lot of fun so far this weekend, and we're only just past the midway point of our coverage here of the SPO Miken Elimination Championship, as we've had 3 games today. Men's A this morning. They had the ladies in just before this game as well, and we'll also, as mentioned, have 2 games tomorrow, and they will be here at Slow Pitch City right around the noon hour. And at Diamond 1, you'll see some of the best go to the plate. The Naturals will hit draw the first at-bat here. And no, folks, they can fit his last name on the back of his shirt at Kyle Piowarchuk. Mark called him Kyle Frank Mahavlich at one point.
Yeah, Kyle Peter Mahavlich. Kyle is a professional hockey player still playing in Germany. Obviously an outstanding baseball player, was an inter-county stellar player for the London Majors, and now is taking it all here in the slow pitch world with the Naturals as a leadoff hitter.
That one's going out to left field. It cuts through the gap. Piowarchuk on his horse. He's looking 3. And he's going to get there standing up. So a stand-up triple here for the Naturals to start out the game.
That's a fine piece of hitting. Just drove the pitch opposite way. We have a wind blowing from right field to left field. As Kyle drove it, the wind just moved it through with the blustery winds into left center field, standing up triple.
Mike McLeod stepping in. Floating knuckleball pitch. McLeod says, thank you very much, I'll take that, and get an RBI to go along with a single.
Well, you've got two really solid singles hitters there, number 1 and 2. Both of them have played sports at a high level. It'll be interesting to see the top half of this order as they continue to roll.
As we mentioned, Dwayne Hamilton in. And gets underneath the ball. And that will pop out to the catcher.
An unusual swing there. It was almost as if halfway through that swing he decided, I don't really want to hit this, and tried to slow the bat down. I think his timing was off there. He started to begin his swing a little early. And to be honest, with that knuckleball, it can happen. That ball will float and change directions. Perhaps halfway through his swing he realized, I'm not going to make very good contact with it, but it was too late to correct the swing.
Brett Foisey, high fly ball to right field. Right fielder's going to have to come in. Center fielder shading over to pick that one up. So 2 out here for the Naturals.
Here we go.
And we've said in other games, obviously it's really important for these teams to come out early with some runs, and even though they've scored a run already, that's certainly not enough to win a game or to set the tone. So I would expect that there's 20 runs plus for each of these teams tonight, so 1 so far isn't going to cut it.
Now, we did see the on the scoreboard of the 5 o'clock games of these two each played and each got up into that 20-run territory. The Orioles had a tough go, I believe, against the Canucks. It was a 2-run game.
27-25. They came back and scored a few in the bottom of the 6th, and the Canucks couldn't score in the 7th.
Pete Babcock turns on a ball. That one's to right field. Right fielder's back. He jumps and comes back with the ball. Beautiful catch.
An outstanding catch over top of the fence.
Over there in right field. Absolutely beautiful. And that's, even though the Naturals score 1, the Orioles end the inning with an exclamation point on the defensive side.
Times the jump perfectly. That's Ron Nadlin at the peak of his jump and keeps the ball in the park. Well done.
That one was definitely out, reaching over and grabbing it, so hats off there. As we're midway through the first, Naturals get 1 on the board on the RBI from the triple that Kyle Piwarczyk put up. Now the Orioles get a chance to try and respond.
Obviously, that's a rallying point for the team. The Naturals, that was 2 runs taken away from them. And then you take that as the 3rd out of the inning. That's a tough one to swallow when you're up to bat. That's a big momentum gainer for the Orioles now, moving up in the bottom of the first inning with the chance to take a lead.
I have a feeling we'll be seeing that one in maybe some highlight reels and so on that we have here as we hopefully have plenty more continuing coverage here of slow pitch. As Chuck Roberts is pitching here for the Naturals.
You know, you can never underestimate the power of this park to attract people. You look at the members on this Naturals team, London-based team, and in fact there are players on this team right from Dorchester who probably came out watching their dads play. In fact, I know Chester Piwarczyk, Kyle's father, played baseball for a team, slow pitch team called Mass back in the 1990s. It was phenomenal, and we're Canadian champions. That led to Kyle's decision to play some slow pitch, but there are other players on this field tonight who watched their fathers from Dorchester play here, and now here they are doing the same thing.
Well, how many times have we already heard stories from guys playing here this weekend that have told us, oh, that's my boy over there, and he takes BP with us, and that happens quite a bit.
It's true. It's a family game.
Wayne Perrant. I know he told us after the last game that we had on that he could hear us talking about him behind him, so
we don't want to psych him out here. I know Wayne loves to drive the ball to the right side. That's his go-to swing when he's trying to get on base.
In that leadoff position, outside pitch. Likes just to hold on to that one. Another outsider, so he gets a free base. So whether you shoot that one down the right-hand side or the pitches were all waiting. They were all sitting on the outside corner.
I'm not quite sure what they were doing there. He was pitching outside and he had his defense moved over on the left-hand side of the infield.
Rob Sitch here. Diamond 2's now got a couple of balls in its outfield.
They'll be coming back shortly.
That's why a couple of the guys have their young ones with them. They can run and get the ball. Rob Sitch right through the middle. That one gets right past Roberts. Perrant moves up to second on the play, and first and second now with none out.
Come on, Jeffrey.
And, you know, that really is a solid swing. There's a lot of players just hit line drives on the ground at the feet of the pitcher. They're so difficult to field. And then there's that big hole behind second base to get on base.
2 on here.
Show me why you're the best. Let's go. Like you always do, Jeffrey. Come on.
Sharp shot, left center field, tailing away, and that clears the fence.
That's a line drive. You know, one of the things you'll notice about these players with their swings is they drive through, cutting through the bottom half of the ball to create backspin. And with that backspin, the ball's going to sail a lot further. Tonight, the air is cool. The wind is blowing out to left field. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-doubter, too.
I liked how his teammates were giving him the business, saying he only hits home runs on TV.
It's true.
Hard shot. That one gets into the outfield. Curtis Nebel looking, made an aggressive turn there at first base, but elected to go back to first on the single.
Just a great line drive swing. There's no defense for that.
The only defense there is just to get the ball back in as quickly as you can. Kyle Nechtel here. 3 runs already in here for the Orioles. That one goes opposite field, tailing back to the right fielder. And Nechtel will be the first out here of the first inning for the Orioles.
And we talk about the athletes again, Ryan. Kyle is a former OHL hockey goalie. Played 4 years in the Ontario Hockey League and now has shifted gears from a winter sport to a summer sport. He too has represented Canada at the national level or at the international level, playing for the Team Canada.
Go get it.
Big shot there. Frampton out to left field. He will go back to second, so we got first and second here as Mark Frampton gets on the board here.
Well, the Orioles are doing in the first inning what we thought they would do the last game in the first inning. We know it took them a few innings to get going, but this is exactly what they're known for.
James Kelly here. He's got a beard that would impress pretty much anybody.
Well, James has 2 men on, so I think he can take the opportunity to try to hit the ball out of the park.
Lets the outside pitch go, maybe looking for something a little more inside to drive. They're only going to give him outside, so he will take it and feed it out into right center field. And that's Cash's. Nebel coming in. Frampton goes first to third on the Kelly single.
Well, we've seen a lot in this game so far. They look a lot like the Ladybirds earlier this afternoon when we watched the women driving single after single over the infield. Well, you're seeing it again. The men are doing the same thing.
Ron Allen, outside pitch here. Big shot left field. It's high, and it is gone.
That one cleared to the top of the light standards. That really was a no-doubter off the bat.
That was for a second there. I think I was wondering if it was going to come down on one of those lights up on the top of the pole.
Well, you know, you talk about how big and strong these guys are and their athletic backgrounds. And one of the reasons Ron takes care of himself, he's a fireman in Woodstock. So obviously his health and taking care of himself, being big and strong, is really important.
Todd Cadenhead. Love the batting stance.
Always lots of movement in Todd's stance. Moving his feet, lifting that front leg, moving the bat.
He's got that Jim Furyk-like effect going on.
He's got an incredibly long swing, generates all sorts of power with it, but he didn't need to there as he didn't get a pitch to hit.
So man on first here. Already 7 on the board. This ball's going to tail, and it goes off the fence. Staying in the park. Men move from up to second and third. Caden head over to 3. And they're threatening to add a few more here.
Just a fine line drive swing. Andy Dreyer in center field just can't get there quick enough to make a play as it bounces right off the side of the fence. Those are very difficult to play. And the ball's hit that hard, that fast.
Mark Foster. Foster through the middle, that one tailing, and it will drop. So a run comes in to score.
Right now they're putting on a clinic, demonstrating how to hit the ball between home runs and line drive singles. There haven't been very many poor swings so far for the Orioles.
We might be seeing a pitching change, I'm not sure. Just a brief stoppage here as Logan Cloak came in and looks like he's grabbing some headgear, so he might be going to the pitch.
And it's funny, you ask yourself, well, what can the pitcher possibly do? He throws the ball
Chuck Roberts could do about most of those.
You look at those. These guys are making great swings, but one of the things keep in mind, earlier this afternoon we talked about the pitching job done by the pitcher for, I don't know who was playing the Orioles, where he was really,
that was the Mets, yeah.
That's right, for the Mets, pitching the ball so well and moving the ball inside and outside from that front corner. He just seemed to paint it over and over and over. It would have been interesting at the end of that game to see the tracker of exactly where his pitches landed on the mat, because he just really was outstanding at keeping the ball in places on the mat. You have to make a perfect swing to hit it well. And it really makes a difference for pitchers. And don't think that the next guy coming in is just going to do the exact same thing Chuck Roberts does. He's going to try and move the ball around differently and force them to make bad swings. We'll see if that happens here. But there are some times when teams are hot and the rhythm, they just start to hit in rhythm. It's like we said, you get on board, follow me, and the game becomes very easy when you're comfortable. And we've seen that in Major League Baseball too. The Blue Jays are the perfect example of that.
Especially lately.
Yeah, pass the bat. Here goes. You're up next. It's your turn.
I know some folks are making the question right now with the Blue Jays. How much do they want Jose Bautista back right now? It's obviously a big bat in the lineup, but things haven't been going too bad as of late. So.
No, certainly not. And of course, you add his bat when he's healthy back to the lineup with what the guys are already doing. It'll be supremely dangerous.
So the Orioles have batted through the order here in the first. 8 runs up on the board. Wayne Perrant is going to be back. Wayne drew a walk there to start off the game and then came in to score on the home run. We talked earlier about the fact that Wayne likes to shoot that ball to the right side.
He takes that crossover step with his back foot, drives to the right side.
Back to the fence. Fielder gets it. Both runners tag. Only one will come in. Make it 9 on the board here.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a productive out when you're scoring a run.
Rob Sitch, second at bat in the inning. Had a single last time, came around to score. Goes right field, this one high and picked up in right field. So a long first inning here. But the Orioles put 9 up on the board and bat through the order and some. They've got a handy lead here. The Naturals, you got to think, Mark, need to at least 5 in this inning to kind of feel like they're at least in the vicinity, sort of thing.
They have to have an answer for that.
Yeah.
If they come out and score 1 or 2, and the Orioles shoot for another 7 or 8 runs, suddenly this game's out of hand for the Naturals. Obviously, it's only the first inning. There's a lot of hitting and a lot of play to be done still, but the Naturals, this is a big opportunity for them to show that we're not going to lie and we're not going to roll down and roll over for you, so to speak. We're here to play tonight too. We want to be in that final undefeated as much as anyone.
The other thing too is the first guy up to bat in this inning will be Chuck Roberts, who is started as the pitcher. So You know, Roberts is getting a bat right now, and he really wants to put a good tag on the ball to really get his guys going, especially after whether it was him deciding to give up the pitching role. Sometimes you'll get guys, if things aren't going your way, they'll just hand the ball off and say, I'll step aside. And that's the big thing, especially in all team sports. But when you get a bunch of guys playing slow pitch, it's you're there for the other 10, 11, 12. Didn't matter how big the roster is.
Well, certainly. Another irony in this game is the coach of the Naturals. His name is Jim Moran, and Jim was actually the coach of the Orioles for many years. So he knows both teams extremely well.
Roberts' shot comes through. That one goes left side.
Nice play.
Wayne Pront trying to stay in play to catch that ball.
I think he did. They're going to say he did. Take a look here.
Way to get there, Wayne.
Chuck Roberts.
Yes, he did.
It just
In fact, he did. The home plate umpire came right down the fence line and checked it out.
He's having some fun with it. That's the other thing when you're playing at this level as well. You know exactly where that out-of-play line is and the ruling surrounding it. How much farther can I go?
These are tight parks here at Slow Pitch City, but the guys that played here so often, it seems they know just by feel, by braille, they literally know how these diamonds are laid out.
Big shot here. That one's left field side. A little short. Big run to get that one through as Craig Bates flies out to left.
I think Kyle Nechtel was left a little flat-footed at first. He saw the big swing, the ball came up, and then, oh goodness, I better get on my horse here. This ball is a lot shorter than I thought.
Andy Dreyer here.
Ronnie!
That one goes left side. Right through short and third. As a single gets them a man on base here after going 2 out quicks.
Well, you need to string a bunch of those together.
Right through the middle. That'll go for a single and move Dreyer up to second here. First and second with 2 out.
Are you playing weak or strong? Reg, weak or strong?
Christian Heffernan now.
Christian arguably is probably the fastest player on the diamond tonight, being a former track star at Western, a part of a Canadian Interscholastic Championship team.
This one center field. Heffernan already at second. And he'll get 2 to score as Dreyer and Cloak come in. After Heffernan's shot got all the way to the fence.
Line drive swing in the gap right to the fence. Nothing an outfielder can do about that but pick it up and get it in quickly, and with Christian's speed, you see he's just standing at second base before the ball's even picked up.
Shot to the right-hand side. That one will knife out of play.
Straight up, 6! 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Your pick.
Oh, good pitch.
Out to center field. That one is caught for the 3rd out here of the top of the 2nd inning. So the Naturals able to get 2 up on the board here. Make it 10-3.
The Naturals have their backs against the wall. They're going to have to play some fine defense. Hope that the Orioles may have a couple missed swings. Maybe the Orioles will come up empty here without any runs, and then the Naturals can get on a roll in the next inning. But if the Orioles here respond with 5 or 6 of their own, suddenly the game starts to creep out of hand.
Make the correction as you see 9-3. I was never a math major, Mark.
That's why you speak so well. You're a language major.
I was just the kid in school that the teacher kept saying Ryan likes to talk too much in class.
He's very articulate.
Decided to make a career out of it.
Good for you. Little did you know, little did they know.
Come on, Jeffrey.
Jeff Filardo here, who's the leadoff hitter for the affectionately known as Grubby. Oftentimes at the end of a tournament, Jeff is the color of the dirt on the infield as much as he is in black or orange and white.
It's a fourth color to add to
He's
the
known to be diving for many balls hit through the infield when he's playing on defense.
Well, he already had a home run in the first inning, and he's got a high fly ball to right field this time, right to the fence.
Just underneath the ball. You can see these guys, those leadoff hitters, they're just trying to hit line drives. Just hit the bottom half of that ball with that top spin and it floats out to the outfielder. Really, when you're trying to hit line drives, you're going to hit square on the ball or you're going to hit the top half and create top spin so it drops into the outfield on the grass in front of the outfielders. It takes a lot of practice.
Curtis Neville, this one another high fly ball to center field, tracking it. 2 quick outs here.
Well, 2 pitches, 2 outs, that's exactly what the Naturals wanted.
Especially since Logan Klote's come into pitch here after what was a very impressive inning in the first for the Orioles. 2 quick outs, and Kyle Nechtel flew out to right field last time around. Just an inning ago, he waits, asks for time, umpire awards it. Got one through the hole at second. He's on his horse. Makes the turn at first, but a good throw back in by the Naturals, and just a single here for Kyle Nechtel.
Just driving that ball again. We talked about it earlier. Drive the ball somewhere at the feet of the pitcher. And in that case, Kyle just drove it to the right side away from the strength of the defense, and there he is, he's on first base.
Mark Frampton up now.
Chuck, maybe a play.
Frampton, hard shot. That one gets over the shortstop. And Nechtel's on his horse going to third base. He was thinking 3 all the way right off the bat.
Absolutely. Didn't let up at all at second, just put his head down, kept on going. That's a perfect swing by Mark Frampton. You see, he drives, that top hand drives over the front top half of the ball, creates top spin, so it lands down on the grass between the infield and outfield. That's a perfect single swing every time.
James Kelly came around to score after hitting a single in the first inning. So we've got 2 on here. Another high pitch here, so 3-1 is the count. Big shot, hard left field. That one just hits the top of the fence, so stays in the park. Kelly's going to get a long single out of that one.
Now that ball's hit so hard, it's hit so fast. As an outfielder, you're about 40 feet in front of the fence. You turn, you run back as fast as you can, and the ball still beats you there. There's no possible way of jumping up and timing it, because if you miss it, you're probably going to fall. Christian's turning, plays it off the fence. He's still 10 feet from the fence, picks it up on one hop and gets the ball in quickly.
Ron Nadelin, home run, 3-run shot last time around in the first inning. Underneath that one, it's short into left field. Heffernan's got to get over there quickly. The middle infielders were trying to help him up there, but that one will drop.
Well, there's nothing you can do on that. It wasn't hit far enough, and it wasn't hit high enough to get it for any of the fielders to get to it.
Well, after he hits the 3-run home run last time around. Out there in left field, Heffernan just probably thinking, I'm going to stay closer to the fence just in case.
You have to, and you're in left field with the wind blowing out the way it is. So here's an opportunity for Todd Cadenhead. 2 runners on.
Illegal is the pitch call there. That one was floating. Todd took a walk last time around. Tags this one into left field. It'll be a single. James Kelly comes around to score.
Again, driving the ball, top hands over top of the top half of the ball. Look at that top spin. Lands in front of the outfielder. A perfect single swing.
we go. 8 inches short, eh?
Another fine job by the umpire spitting out illegal, saying it quickly in the pitch.
Yes, sir.
Hole on the left side, he took it. Here comes the runners. Cadenhead takes a look, he'll slow up at third. Nadlin will come in to score.
These are the Orioles we expected to see earlier today. They're demonstrating that on Saturday nights they're difficult to beat at the eliminations.
13 runs now, and we're only in the second inning.
Hey, Barber, get me out of here.
Mark Foster here. High fly ball. This one's shorter into center. It's going to be trouble.
That's a fine play by Andy Dreyer, coming all the way across, calling off both the right fielder and the second baseman to make the catch down the inning.
So at the end of 2, got 13 on the board here for the Orioles, 3 for the Naturals. They'll try and respond as we take a quick break and be back with the third next here on Rogers TV.